Hello everyone, and welcome to another News Coolum video and another charging site review. I'm here in Yuba City, California. Now this is Northern California, a bit north of Sacramento, and we're just off of Highway 20 at a PetSmart, and it's an EVgo charger. This is one of the EVgo chargers that was funded by the California Energy Commission grant, but there's a lot of other businesses right here. It's basically right in the center of town, and yeah, I wanted to do a quick site review of this because these are going to be sort of necessary but really unsung charging sites. A lot of people talk about how we need to cover the main travel corridors in terms of interstates like Interstate 5 or Interstate 80 or these interstate corridors that cross the country or whatever. But there's a need for charging in between, right, in these areas where it's maybe a local or a regional east-west route or whatever, and this is a perfect example of it. So what we have here is basically a 2 DC fast charger. They're BTC Power DC fast chargers, 50 kilowatt, and then 2 heads for a J1772 level 2 AC. So there can be 4 plugs active at a time, but only, like I said, 2 of them are DC fast chargers. But I'm really impressed. There's a lot more here than I thought there was when I saw the site going in. They didn't talk about a lot of the other businesses that are surrounding. And this is actually a really good travel stop, especially if, like I said, you're crossing the state going east-west on Highway 20. This is going to be a really good stop. It's right, right where it needs to be. I'm only using level 2 AC right now because, I'm just doing local errands, running someone to a doctor's appointment. I mean, I wouldn't even have used as much energy as I did if it weren't for the air conditioning. Just trying to keep the car cabin cool for the little puppy dog. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, let's jump right into a site score. All right, so for accessibility, I'm only going to give this a score of 9 out of 10. Now, the reason it's getting a 9 though is, I mean, even though this is a retail shopping plaza as well, this is a fairly large parking lot. It's easy to get in here. I don't see icing in any way being an issue. Basically, there's plenty of parking, and even on busy days, there's going to be a lot of cycling through because a lot of the businesses here are restaurants, right? So you're going to be able to access these chargers pretty easily. The big issue here is that there's no full pull-through parking, and a lot of people that are going to be traveling the Highway 20 corridor, they're probably going to be towing. They're going to be in larger, format vehicles, so it is something that these charging sites need to account for. Technically, you could pull a vehicle through, but you'd be blocking out both chargers when you do it, and that's not ideal. That's not where you want to be with these charging sites. I think they really need to start accounting for larger format vehicles and making sure that they can easily park while still accessing the chargers. So for accessibility, the site's only getting a 9 out of 10. Now, in terms of amenities, again, I'm giving this site 9 out of 10. And the reason for that is when I first saw the site go in, we knew it was next to a PetSmart. We knew it was next to a Walgreens. But there's a lot of other stuff here as well. A lot of restaurants, a lot of lunch spots. There's a lot of access to businesses and, services that you would need. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy. But all this is really missing is basically covering, and it's even got a level 2 AC charger. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for amenities. Now, for site concentration, I'm only going to give this a 4 out of 10. And it's a little disappointing to only see 2 DC fast chargers here. Yes, they have 2 more level 2 AC chargers, but this isn't really an appropriate stop for level 2 AC. I mean, I'm using it right now just because basically I'm running the air conditioning, but I could do that and still have plenty of juice to make it home. So I'm doing this more just to use the charger than anything else. Yeah, there are going to be a few local vehicles, probably small, short-range electric vehicles that only have level 2 AC charging. In that case, then yeah, I guess it makes sense. This site is really more designed for the DC fast chargers, and so only having two, that's a little bit before what I consider the bare average today of about 3 chargers per site. This isn't going to be a high traffic travel route, Highway 20, but Yuba City is a fairly, busy town for Northern California, and it is a hub. And like I said, if you're crossing over going to the Sierras, or if you're crossing over going to Northern Bay Area, right, going toward Clear Lake or whatever, this is going to be a travel route, and it should be able to support bare minimum 3 to 4 vehicles using DC fast chargers. So it's only getting a 4 out of 10 for site concentration. Now, in terms of location, I am gonna also give this a 9 out of 10. Like I said, I think these sites are maybe even a little bit more important than they might appear on the surface. These types of sites that really support east-west travel off of key interstate corridors, they're still important. And like I said, they're going to facilitate a lot of travel. This is an area that didn't have a lot of DC fast charging coverage before, and in fact, I think someone had pointed out Highway 20 just in general only has 3 or 4 chargers along the entire width of the state, and or at least charging sites along the entire width of the state of California. So that's several hundred miles with only a few charging sites, and one of them is just off of I-5 too, like in Williams, California. So there's another EVgo charger that looks a lot like this, another charging site. But being here that much farther out from from Williams, and then on the way to like Nevada City, this is a really key important route here. It's going to facilitate local EV ownership, as well as, like I said, travel east-west across the state. So yeah, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for location. And finally, in regards to speed, yeah, I'm only giving this a 5 out of 10 for speed. This is basically what I consider dead average, 50 kilowatt charging. It's not that fast. Even for local or urban support, you'd want to see closer to 100 kilowatt charging, something that can charge up a vehicle reasonably fast. We have a whole generation of EVs coming up that even a 100 kilowatt charger would make for a 30-minute to an hour stop easy, given all of the businesses here. And the fact that this is a travel corridor, yeah, I think 100 kilowatt chargers would be far more appropriate. But like I said, currently 50 kilowatt DC fast charging, that's just bare average. So it's getting a 5 out of 10 for speed. So that brings us to a total site score here for this Yuba City EVgo charger of 36 out of 50, or a 72%, or just a basic C. There's a lot to like about this charging site. I love the location. I love the support in an area that previously didn't have a whole lot of support. And I actually do appreciate the fact that they have level 2 AC charging here, even if it's not really appropriate for this site. It does give additional options. Like I said, I would have much rather seen 2 additional DC fast chargers here as well, or instead of the AC, because I think that's more appropriate given the location and the type of stop. But more charging heads the better at this point. And I do think, like I said, this is a really good site. It's a very basic EVgo site with the BTC Power slim units, 50 kilowatt, and the basic level 2 AC charger. I believe it's 30 amps. And yeah, I mean, overall, I appreciate the fact that it's gone in. I think this is going to be very helpful, like I said, for a lot of traffic going east-west across the state. This is a route actually that I'm going to probably drive a few more times, in the near future, not stopping in Yuba City, but traveling through. So having this here as an option is really important. I'd love to hear what you think about this site. Is this a site that you would find useful? Do you travel through Northern California a lot? Is this do you travel Highway 20 a lot, going maybe from the Bay Area up into the Sierras and Lassen National Park, that sort of thing? is this a site that you could see yourself using? Like I said, I really appreciate seeing it go in. I think it's going to be very useful. It's going to be helpful for travelers, and really it's helpful for visibility. Just here alone, when I was plugged in and charging 3 different EVs, including myself. There's a Tesla parked over here that's not really charging, and another Bolt EV that came in really quick to use the DC fast charger while they picked up lunch. Hey, like I said, this is going to give a lot more exposure to EVs. It's support in a community that doesn't really have charging support right now. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and thank you for watching.